I remember going up to Dan Curtis's office at ABC Studios on what street was that? 40s, early 40s? No, in the teens. Anyway, I was an acting student. I was also in a Broadway show called Promises, Promises, and I think he'd seen me. So there I was auditioning as an actress, and in my acting class, I had just been working on the Maltese Falcon. And so it was a wonderful scene that they kind of coincided. I think I figured that out later. But I had a very good time with him auditioning this scene, and it was a very emotional scene because I'd been working in my acting class in the Maltese Falcon. I had everything right there at my fingertips, and it was terrific. I had a great time. I think it was maybe my first acting audition. I really do. That was it. I got the job, and it was Dark Shadows. First of all, just personally, at that time, this was my first television acting role, and this was very important to me and very exciting. And I was doing a show at night, and I would get the script and get up 5 o'clock in the morning with my cup of coffee, go over the script, show up at the studio, and we'd have a read-through and sit at the table, and then we'd do blocking, and then we would, we'd do a dress or go fix our hair, because we had lots of hair, a lot of bobby pins. I think I had wore 25 pounds of hair, and costumes, and then we redid it on the stage, on the set, and hit our marks, or tried to, and remember our lines. And then it was a go, and we did it. And this was incredible to me because now, when I look back, these people, the way they worked, it was so powerful. I mean, and there was no time to do anything. So I remember it was a total whirlwind the whole time I was on the show and doing the show at night. And I remember being exhausted the whole time because then I would, of course, finish the day at ABC Studios, then go grab a sandwich and go to the theater and lay down for half an hour and get up and warm up and do the show. Same thing, go home at night. And I could not learn the script at night because I would be awake all night. So I would just put it to rest, get up in the morning at 5 o'clock with a cup of coffee and start all over again. So it was wild, you know, and was terrific. And I did something very important as a young acting student. A lot of actors are like this when they first start out. They're very pretentious in a way and very self-conscious, and they have this great high standard about, you know, and they kind of have a condescending attitude about the soap opera actors. Well, we did. I think it still goes on a little bit. Very critical, you know. Well, what a lesson. I mean, when you see people work this way, and it's so hard to get anything going, to show anything good. And when you see this, now when I look at actors and I see one moment, I go, that's really impressive, you know. But then you realize that at that time, we were going from set to set like theater. It was not we didn't stop and set up. They had everything set up so that they could wheel those cameras and we would jump over those cables with those skirts and be in the next scene. It was really quite exciting. Well, you know, at that time, there were a lot of Broadway stage actors that were doing the show. You mentioned before Jerry Lacey, and there's Virginia Vestoff was doing 70, a lot of people. And I had great affection for these people. They were so professional and so disciplined, and they worked really hard. And this was tough stuff. You know, this was bigger than life. I mean, talk about, it's a small screen, but those were epic stories and very dynamic and very dramatic. And I remember also in my naivete thinking, oh, now I'm doing this character, and David Selby and I were these star-crossed lovers. And I kept waiting for some change so I could bring in a happy moment or a jovial part of a man. No, as it turned out, of course, each character had to fit a certain in the show a certain way, and to keep new viewers interested, you had to kind of repeat, as they do today a little bit, repeat the storyline. So that was a very important lesson, to learn how to repeat pretty much the same scene, but keep the story pure and different. And let's see. Well, I can't remember anything too humorous. I just remember how much respect I have for the actors on the show and all the people involved, because it's so hard. And when there's a whole drama going on behind the scenes, because you know that people are just kind of winging it. And of course, some of the charm is when you will see a mic swinging or a stagehand walk behind, and we had to leave it in, And those are the funny things, I suppose, and everyone is working together to keep the show on time, and there's no time to cut things out, so what you see, what you get is what you see. Well, I worked pretty much with David and Roger, and who else? Don, I think, yeah. And pretty much with those people, Grayson, I had a real affection for her. I thought she was terrific. It was a real good family, I thought. And I was coming in, from kind of left field. And I didn't stay all that long, but I really got a sense of the support and the camaraderie. And it was really, people had to work really hard and really fast. And I left with an impression that, with a lot of respect for these people. And I really liked them. I really liked working with them. Yeah. Well, I just think it was being able to be with a group of people and doing something so different for me, and to learn. And I was very, new at this at the time, and to have the kind of I received a lot of support from people, and they were very generous to help me, and as people did for each other. It was a very, very good feeling. It wasn't. I didn't feel any negativity at all. There was already, when we were filming in the morning, we'd get there very early, in the rain. These young girls and boys would be there. They couldn't be more than 10 or 11, 12. And they were there, they were with their umbrellas. They would just wait for us, and it was very devoted. It was the first time I ever had a fan club. And from some of the kids that were standing around, and they would be supportive. That's when I realized what a popular show it was, when I saw these kids waiting in the rain, every morning. And it really caught their imagination, these stories and these characters. And I guess as I look back now, I'm not surprised. But yes, I was. Every year I would get the mail, and there would be the conventions. And I think I went to one, and it was terrific to see that kind of enthusiasm, for something that you did, because all too often this stuff kind of gets lost and it becomes history, And I think, I can only imagine that the reason that it's popular again and is on television is because of this support. I think that had a lot to do with it. Well, I learned so much, and I think the most impressive thing for me was to have so little rehearsal time, and you get on that set and you don't have time to rehearse. You have to hit those marks, and everybody works really fast, and they're under a lot of pressure. The cameramen, the crew, the people who whip the cable, the actors have to hit the marks, and then they would of course have the the lines up there, and you'd try to if you forgot a line, you would try to find your words and try to make it look like it was incorporated into your condition and your intention as an actor. And to do a juggling act like that was a very, very important education for me. Very difficult, and you're scrambling all the time, and boy, you really have to think fast on your feet. And it's good training, because you realize that so few times do you get a cushy atmosphere where you can take all the time and work everything so thoroughly that there's always something that's going to happen. And to have that kind of discipline and training, in a way, to take anything that comes and work with it and use it, all these surprises and obstacles, it's really good. It stayed with me. Well, I'll tell you one thing I think that's very nice. All of us in this business of ours, whether it's stage or film or television, you meet wonderful people and you become intimate with them in the work situation. And with all good intentions, you say, oh, we've got to get together, we have to stay in touch. And we all go our separate ways all too often. And it's very painful, to separate like this, but you get used to it. And what I find wonderful is when you get the newsletter that you've built so beautifully, and and I'm hard to get pinned down, because I'm all over the place. But when I see the interest that people have, and then I can find out where everybody is and keep in touch, it's terrific. It's really been a wonderful thing. So congratulations on that, and thank you.